Hi, my name is Bob Johnson from folkworldmusicstore.com, and I'd like to show you how to play the Haydn Duet Concertina. I sell the stodgy Haydn Duet Concertina. It has a beautiful sound, and in my opinion, the Duet Concertina is very easy to play. But how do we play it? First of all, you should know that if you buy this particular instrument from me, I supply you with these two charts, one for the left hand, which is the bass, and the right hand, which is the treble, used for playing the melody. These charts come in very handy when you're just starting out, especially if you're playing from sheet music. I must admit, however, most of the time I just play by ear. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'd like to do is point out that there's an extra button here on the right hand side. This is the treble part where you're going to play the melody, and this button is just so you can open and close it without sounding a note. Sometimes you may have to do that. Okay, so to get started, the first thing you want to do, I think, is to find the C note. It's the first note on the lower row. And let's learn to play the major scale in C. So, play the first three notes, C, D, E. The first three buttons, C, D, E. Then go to the second row, F, G, A, B. First three buttons, and then the first four buttons in the second row. And the C above middle C will be played in the third row, second button. This is a C, this is a B flat. So what do we have? The beautiful thing about this instrument is that it's isomorphic. That means just by moving to a different note, you can play the very same fingering configuration that you played in a different key. In other words, you can change keys very easily. If I wanted to play the major scale in D, just move it, move the root note up to the D, and play again the same fingering configuration that you played for the C major scale. Now it's going to be the D major scale. Same thing. If I want to do a scale in the key of F, let's start with the F. This is the F note here. Isomorphic means the shape stays the same, and that is a huge advantage when you're changing keys. You don't have to worry about sharps and flats so much when you have this kind of an instrument, and I love that feature. Okay, the same holds true with the bass. We'll talk about the bass a little more in a minute. Someone suggested for this first tune, let's start with Amazing Grace. Now, everyone knows that melody. I never play it, but as I said, most of my playing is done from just by ear. So I have to figure out now the melody with my right hand. Always do that. Figure out the melody first, and then you worry about the left hand, the bass, later. So I'm going to play in the key of G. This is the G note, the second button in the second row. But I'm going to start with the D. That's such a beautiful melody. Now I may have to practice that for a few hours, and then after I feel pretty confident with the melody itself, I can go on to the bass. And let's talk about that now. Switch around here so you can see a little better. All right. Now we said we're playing this in G. Here's the G note. The G note is the second button in the second row. That's the way it was on the right-hand side too. Actually, both sides are very similar in terms of configuration. All right, so this G, however, is lower than the other one. One octave lower, so that's going to be my bass. Now the full G chord is played like this, with the ring finger. Play the G. With your index finger, the B. And with your middle finger, play the D. So that's a G chord, G major. As we said, this is isomorphic. So by keeping that very same shape and changing the root, I can play any chord I want, any major chord with this triangular shape. Move it up to the C. Third finger, my ring finger is on the C. Down to the G. I want to play a D chord, D major. So I love that feature. Any chord will have that shape. And this is true of minors, seventh chords. All right. Now, to play Amazing Grace, I can only show you one side at a time, so I'm going to keep it here with the left hand side in view. Walk it up. Then you can add the full chord. And I would do it like this. First the bass, and then the other two notes. Oh, by the way, you probably play this tune or are familiar with it with a minor chord added, an E minor. This instrument is really ideal for playing songs that are 3-chord progressions and 4-chord progressions. 3-chord progression. Move it up. But you know lots of 4 progression songs, right? To make a minor chord, just move this middle finger down. That would be an E minor. G. like the song Blue Moon. Let's try to add that E minor chord